You guys just finished. Let's cool down. You can tell just by the tone of my voice, it's time to get soft, okay? So after that workout, our body's firing on all cylinders, whether you did legs, core, cardio, upper body, a combination, whatever, it's definitely time to just... Okay, so let's get down on the floor on our hands and knees. So I'm going to show you guys the sequence that I'll use after a really tough total body day. It's wonderful. All you're going to need is a door in a moment, but for right now, we're going to be on our hands and knees. Now, what I want to start with is more for your spine. We're going to be on our hands and knees, and I'm going to try to reach under as far as I possibly can. So I'm going to reach. As I reach, I'm going to sit my hips down, trying to get the back of my shoulder to touch the ground as I reach either, well, as far as I can away from me. So I'm dropping down, I'm reaching. I feel this from my shoulder, through my ribs, into my hips. This feels really good. I did a lot of pulling type motions today, so this is exactly what I need. Oh yeah, even if you just did a lower body day, you were holding weights most likely. Let's switch sides. You were holding weights, reach, drop that shoulder. And even holding those weights, your spine takes a beating, your core takes a beating. So we're gonna make sure we take care of ourselves. I'm reaching, reaching, reaching. Yeah, what a lovely thing. Then I'm gonna come up, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna step one of my legs through. And from here, some of you just have to do this while being on the floor. So I will demonstrate what you can do on the floor while your hands are on the floor. So I'm gonna squeeze my butt and I'm gonna push my hips forward just a little bit so that I get a nice sensation in the front of my hip. For some, you might be able to come up onto your knee a little bit. Maybe you can reach your arms in the air. Whatever, but as long as your butt is engaged and you feel a slight sensation here, that's what we're looking for. Now, here's a caution. Oftentimes, people think that deeper is better. With this exercise, I'm not a big fan of coming way forward like this. We just end up causing more problems than solutions, okay? So we're tucking our hip just a little forward. I like to reach. I also like to reach away some days, depending upon how beat up I am. And if I'm feeling really supersonic, and I'll do it with you, I've got some soft carpet beneath me. I'm going to grab my my shin. Now, speaking of knees, if this is too much trouble for your knee, you can always roll up a mat, maybe put a pillow underneath your knee, maybe a blanket. Let's switch sides. So again, you might be confined to right here. That's totally fine. Again, you might be confined right here, or you're up, you're twisted. Sometimes I'll have maybe a chair behind me and put my foot up on that chair, but it's not necessary. Again, more isn't always better. We're just trying to ease our bodies and give our bodies a chance from working really hard, whether you're doing cardio, strength, whatever. Oftentimes people just, yep, I'm done, and then they go sit on the couch or whatever. Let's just take a little time for ourselves, okay? A little bit of time. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're gonna take it to our door or your wall, whatever. I'm gonna just use a door because it's just right here in front of the camera. So what I'm gonna do for my inner thighs is I'm going to put my lower back up against the door, then I'll bring my feet together. That way, my body is being nice and supported, and I can focus on this stretch. So I'm gonna sit up tall, then I'm gonna lean one of my arms on my leg, while I take my other hand and lightly push down on that knee. What that's doing is it's really isolating one side of my body. And to be honest, I like to use a wall because it allows me to get deeper, and I can be a little lazy. Because oftentimes after a workout, I'm pretty tired. The last thing I want to do is any extra work or unnecessary work. Not that doing this without the wall is unnecessary, I'm just lazy, to be honest. Then I'll switch to the other side and push. Oh yeah, I can tell my legs are a little beat up today too. Again, I did a total body workout today. I'm sure you did one too, or at least something similar to a total body. Oh yeah. Now, what I love doing is working on my breathing right after a workout. Because again, breathing is a really good way of telling your body, hey, we just went from something really intense. Now we're gonna go to something a little bit less intense. And this helps kind of ease your body. And it really lets those endorphins set in, at least for me, in my experience. It really brings a calm to me. Because you know what, again, after a workout, I wanna feel good about my workout. Whether it was a hard one or an easy one, then it's still kind of like tense. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put my feet up on the wall, or my door rather. And I have it so that my ankle lines up with my knee and my knees line up with my hips. So from the side, just so you see it, something like this. Okay, a nice 90 degree. Not too tight, not too far, just right. We're talking Goldilocks here. So what I'm gonna do in this position is I'm going to just breathe, but I am trying through my nose to take in as much air as I can so that my belly and my lower back expand first. So we want to imagine our core, our diaphragm, our breathing, our lungs is like a water balloon. It fills up from the bottom and then it makes its way to the top, which in this case are our lungs. So I'm going to take a few slow breaths in. And again, I filled from my hips first, my lower back. It had this 360 degree breath. I then brought it into my lungs, and then I'll hold at the top typically. Hold, and then top down. Circumferential breathing. Start at the bottom. Hold, and from the top down. I'll take one more breath. And out. Now we're going to continue this breathing into our next stretch. So I personally go right into stretching my hip and my butt. So I spend a lot of time editing videos, as you might imagine. So I sit on my ass a lot, okay? So it causes my hips to get pretty tight, and I have found that with that knee down stretch that we were doing just before we came to the door, and this stretch, it helps mitigate some of that problem, especially if I don't really work out that day. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push my lower back down towards the floor if I can, my ankle's right over my knee. Now, I'm gonna continue that deep breathing, starting in the hips and working my way to my lungs. I'll take in my breath. I'll hold just briefly, and then as I exhale, I'm trying to let as much tension in this leg go as possible. So I'll take my breath and exhale. Letting that tension go, letting it subside. Again, we're trying to ease our body with this cool down. I'm not yanking on my body to put it into new ranges of motion. I'm just trying to ease my body. Excellent. I'm going to switch sides. So same deal, I cross it over. This side is just always more tight for me. So I'll take in my breath. And out. In. Out. In. Out. Let that tension go, guys. One more. In. And out. Excellent. One last stretch before we go. Now again, we're using the wall here. So this is going to be for the rest of my spine. So I'll use my door here, and then I'll actually use the wall that's just off camera a little bit so that you, actually I might use the ledge. That way you guys can see from a side angle what I'm doing. But it's the same breathing technique. Now when I'm in this position, I am trying to reach my arms as far as I can. What we're trying to do is from our tailbone to our head, we're trying to elongate our entire spine. So I'm gonna take my hands on the wall, like a cop telling me to spread them, I'll spread my legs a little bit, not my cheeks. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a big breath, and then as I exhale, I'm gonna go into, from our warm-up, that 90-degree bent over position where my hamstrings are stretched. So I'm in this position, I'm pushing into the wall, I'm lifting my hips up, trying to be as flat as I can. I'm gonna take a big breath. As I exhale, I'm gonna push my chest past my elbows as far as I can, lifting my hips up. Big breath, hips up, chest through. I'll come to the side so you can see that, but what I'm essentially working on is, again, extending my spine while my arms are above my head. We're improving your hamstrings flexibility, your spine decompression, as well as working on our lockout position over our head. This is a triple whammy. So again, I'm in my nice position here. I'm gonna take my breath, I'm gonna push away this ledge as I push my chest down towards the floor, actively reaching through my arms, pushing my chest down towards the ground. And what I'll do sometimes is actually bend my knees some to allow me to come past my elbows even further. Again, I am trying to bring myself down there. Take a deep breath and exhale. This is the secret to how I have as good of an overhead position as I do. One more time. And let it go. Carefully tuck your chin. You're gonna stand on up. Relax your arms. You guys made it through another day. You guys should feel a sense of calm taking over. That way you guys can come back tomorrow, the next day, whatever, and you guys are gonna be ready to go. I'll see you in the next class.